Our planet is experiencing a surge in extreme weather events. Hurricanes are becoming more intense, wildfires are raging with unprecedented ferocity, floods are inundating communities with alarming frequency, droughts are gripping vast regions, parching the land. These are not isolated incidents, they are interconnected symptoms of a planet in crisis. The culprit? Climate change. Climate change, driven by human activities that release greenhouse gases, is altering the very fabric of our atmosphere and oceans. These changes are disrupting weather patterns, leading to more frequent and severe extreme events. The consequences are far-reaching, impacting human lives, ecosystems, and the delicate balance of our planet. The urgency to address this crisis cannot be overstated. Hurricanes, those swirling behemoths of wind and rain, are fueled by warm ocean waters. As climate change warms our oceans, hurricanes are gaining more energy, leading to higher wind speeds, heavier rainfall, and more destructive storm surges. Recent hurricanes, like the devastating storms that have ravaged the Caribbean, are stark reminders of this growing threat. The intensification of hurricanes due to climate change poses a significant risk to coastal communities worldwide. Higher sea levels, also a consequence of climate change, exacerbate the impact of storm surges, leading to more extensive flooding. The economic and human costs of these increasingly powerful storms are staggering, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. Wildfires are a natural part of many ecosystems, but climate change is turning them into infernos. Rising temperatures, prolonged droughts, and drier vegetation create ideal conditions for wildfires to ignite and spread with terrifying speed and intensity. Recent years have witnessed catastrophic wildfires in California, Australia, and other parts of the world, burning millions of acres and leaving behind scorched landscapes. The connection between climate change and wildfires is undeniable. Warmer temperatures evaporate moisture from the soil and vegetation, creating tinderbox conditions. Droughts further exacerbate the problem, turning forests into tinder waiting for a spark. The consequences are devastating, not only for the environment, but also for human health, as smoke from these massive fires pollutes the air we breathe. Floods, once considered relatively rare events, are becoming increasingly common in many parts of the world. Climate change is altering precipitation patterns, leading to more intense rainfall events. These heavy downpours overwhelm rivers and drainage systems, causing widespread flooding that inundates homes, businesses, and entire communities. The devastating floods that have recently struck parts of Europe and Asia are stark reminders of the growing threat of climate-related flooding. As global temperatures continue to rise, we can expect to see even more extreme rainfall events, leading to more frequent and severe flooding. The human and economic costs of these floods are immense, highlighting the urgent need for climate action. Section 5. Parched earth, droughts, and the thirsty land. While some regions are grappling with too much water, others are facing the opposite extreme drought. These dry spells are becoming more frequent and severe, leaving communities struggling to cope. Climate change is disrupting weather patterns, leading to prolonged periods of low rainfall in many parts of the world. This shift in climate is causing unprecedented challenges for both the environment and human populations. These droughts are having devastating consequences, drying up rivers and reservoirs, decimating crops, and turning once fertile lands into arid wastelands. The impact on local economies and food security is profound. The western United States is currently experiencing one of the most severe droughts in its history, a stark example of the far-reaching impacts of climate change. Communities are facing water restrictions and farmers are struggling to sustain their livelihoods. Droughts have also gripped parts of Africa, Australia, and South America, leading to food shortages, water scarcity, and social unrest. These regions are witnessing the harsh realities of a changing climate. The consequences of these prolonged dry spells are far-reaching, impacting agriculture, ecosystems, and human societies. The need for sustainable water management and climate resilience has never been more urgent. Section 6. The human toll, displacement, loss, and suffering. Extreme weather events, amplified by climate change, are taking a heavy toll on human populations worldwide. Hurricanes, wildfires, floods, and droughts are displacing millions of people, destroying homes and livelihoods, and causing widespread suffering. The human cost of climate change is no longer a distant threat. It is a present-day reality. The displacement of communities due to sea level rise, the loss of homes and possessions to wildfires, the health impacts of extreme heat and air pollution, these are just some of the ways in which climate change is affecting people's lives. The human toll of this crisis is immense, and it is only going to worsen if we fail to act decisively. Section 7. Ecosystems in peril, a web of life under threat. Our planet's ecosystems are intricate webs of life, each species playing a crucial role in maintaining the balance. Climate change is not just a human problem, it is an ecological crisis of unprecedented proportions. The rapid changes in our climate are causing glaciers to melt, leading to rising sea levels and altering habitats. Extreme weather events are pushing ecosystems to their limits, threatening the delicate balance of nature. Hurricanes, tornadoes, and heavy rainfall are becoming more frequent and intense, causing widespread destruction. Coral reefs are bleaching and dying as ocean temperatures rise. These vibrant underwater ecosystems, which support a vast array of marine life, are now at risk of disappearing. Forests are burning at alarming rates, releasing carbon dioxide back into the atmosphere. These fires not only destroy trees, but also the habitats of countless species. Wildlife populations are dwindling as habitats disappear. Animals are struggling to survive in shrinking and fragmented habitats, leading to a decline in biodiversity. The interconnectedness of life on Earth means that the impacts of climate change on ecosystems have ripple effects throughout the natural world. The loss of biodiversity, the disruption of food chains, and the struggle for survival among species are becoming more evident. The spread of invasive species is another consequence of climate change, as these species often outcompete native ones, further destabilizing ecosystems. These are just some of the consequences of climate change on ecosystems. Pollution, habitat destruction, and environmental degradation are all interconnected issues that exacerbate the crisis. Protecting our planet's biodiversity is not just about saving nature, it is about safeguarding our own future. Conservation efforts, reforestation projects, and active engagement in biodiversity protection are crucial steps we must take to ensure a sustainable future for all life on Earth. Section 8. The science is clear. Climate change is the culprit. The link between climate change and the increasing frequency and intensity of extreme weather events is no longer a matter of debate, it is a scientific consensus. Decades of research, countless studies, and overwhelming evidence from all corners of the globe point to the same conclusion. Human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, are altering the Earth's climate system, leading to more extreme weather. The science is clear, the evidence is overwhelming, and the urgency is undeniable. We can no longer afford to ignore the warnings of scientists or the pleas of those already feeling the impacts of climate change. The time for action is now. Section 9. The urgency of now, a race against time. The window of opportunity to avert the worst consequences of climate change is rapidly closing. The ice caps are melting at an unprecedented rate, and the habitats of countless species are disappearing before our eyes. Every fraction of a degree of warming matters, as it leads to more intense and frequent heat waves, affecting millions of people in urban areas. Every ton of carbon dioxide emitted pushes us closer to the brink. The pollution from factories and heavy traffic is choking our atmosphere, making the air we breathe increasingly toxic. The longer we wait to take meaningful action, the more severe the impacts will be. People are demanding change, but political debates often stall progress. The more severe the impacts will be, with floods destroying homes and wildfires ravaging forests, leaving devastation in their wake, and the more difficult it will be to reverse course. Dried up riverbeds and retreating glaciers are stark reminders of the changes already happening. The urgency of the climate crisis demands immediate and ambitious action. Activists are raising their voices and international summits are being held, but words must turn into deeds. We need to rapidly transition away from fossil fuels, embracing renewable energy sources like wind and solar power, invest in renewable energy sources, protect our forests, and support reforestation projects to restore the balance of our ecosystems, and adapt to the changes that are already underway. Coastal defenses are being built and farmers are struggling to cope with drought conditions. The time for half measures and incremental progress is over. We need a transformative shift in how we power our societies, manage our resources, and protect our planet. Large-scale renewable energy projects and passionate speeches from activists are paving the way. We need a transformative shift in how we power our societies, manage our resources, and protect our planet. Electric cars and sustainable farming practices are just the beginning of this necessary revolution. Section 10, a global imperative, reducing our carbon footprint. Addressing the climate crisis requires a global, unified effort. Every country, every industry, and every individual has a role to play in reducing greenhouse gas emissions. We need to transition away from fossil fuels and embrace cleaner, more sustainable energy sources such as solar, wind, and geothermal. Investing in renewable energy, improving energy efficiency, and promoting sustainable transportation, and supporting policies that incentivize carbon reductions are all essential steps in the right direction. International cooperation and collaboration are crucial to achieving the scale of change needed to address this global challenge. Section 11. Adapting to a changing world, building climate resilience. While we must do everything in our power to mitigate climate change, we must also adapt to the changes that are already underway. Building climate resilience means taking steps to prepare for and minimize the impacts of extreme weather events, sea level rise, and other climate-related challenges. This includes investing in infrastructure that can withstand extreme weather, developing early warning systems for natural disasters, and implementing sustainable land management practices. Adaptation measures will vary depending on local conditions and vulnerabilities, but they are an essential part of our response to climate change. Section 12. Our collective responsibility, from individuals to nations. Addressing the climate crisis is not just the responsibility of governments or corporations, it is a collective responsibility that falls on all of us. Every individual can make a difference through their choices and actions. From reducing our carbon footprints to advocating for policy changes, we all have a role to play, making sustainable choices in our daily lives, such as reducing our energy consumption, using public transportation, and supporting businesses that prioritize sustainability, can collectively make a significant impact. Engaging in political advocacy, supporting organizations working on climate change solutions, and raising awareness within our communities are also crucial steps in driving change. Section 13, a call to action, securing a sustainable future. The climate crisis is one of the most pressing challenges of our time, but it is not insurmountable. By acting swiftly, decisively, and collectively, we can still avert the worst consequences of climate change and create a more sustainable future for all. The time for action is now. Our planet, our future, and the well-being of generations to come depend on it. Let us rise to this challenge with the urgency and determination it deserves. Let us work together to create a world where extreme weather events are the exception, not the norm, and where future generations can inherit a healthy and thriving planet. The future is in our hands. Let us choose wisely.